Right, I'm here with Mike from VBS Suspensions. I need to ask you some questions because for accessibility, there are a lot of disabled people out there who would like to be able to have this facility for their vans, cars, or even their caravans. Tell me, Mike, how do they go about that? Do they approach you or do they approach the dealer that they're getting their vans from?
Well, we as the manufacturer, we distribute for a network of dealers both in the UK and internationally, so we're in 60 markets. And you'd approach the dealer and would appraise your vehicle and be able to understand all the options available to you from there.
So firstly, once you've got the dealer and you've obviously decided you want to have VB suspension, tell me how exactly it helps a disabled person. What are the benefits?
Well, one of the main challenges we find in terms of accessibility to the vehicle is either by ramp or lift access.
Yep.
We need to get the ramp angle lower
Yep.
so that it's easier to drive on and off. So what we're able to do with the 4-corner or 2-corner rear air suspension, we can lower the rear of the vehicle, reduce that ramp angle and make it easier to move on and off of the vehicle.
Which makes it much easier for the customer because after all, the whole thing is they want to get in to their actual vehicle. Now, do you do it on cars as well? Because it is something I wondered about. I mean, do you do that?
We don't do cars, so VB occupy quite a defined specialist niche. We only work with light commercial vehicle chassis, so that means typically anything from around 1.5 ton to 7.5 ton. So the smallest we'd work on is something like a Volkswagen Caddy or Ford Custom, and then going all the way up then to an Iveco Daily.
That's good. Now, when it comes to price, because this is the big thing in the market, we know that when it comes to anything that is to help disabled people, we find that the costs are really expensive. What would somebody be looking at just for, say, for instance, as you say, the Caddy or motorhome or caravan?
There's more done to it, that's
But
right.
what would be a base rate to begin with? What would somebody expect to pay?
Well, the costs are the same regardless if it's for a specific wheelchair access vehicle
Okay.
or for a motorhome. All we're doing really is we offer slightly different software which is a little bit more suitable for different use applications.
Okay.
But in terms of all the comfort and all the other functionality that comes with it, that's exactly the same. So the price range is the same. So we're talking anything from starting around £3,000 fitted. For a Fiat van 4-corner system is around 9,500.
Yep.
And going all the way up to a large twin axle Alco chassis would be up to around 15,000.
Really rough. You know, you noticed everything in the road.
Yep.
And since we've had the VBS suspension, we don't get any of that. And so for me personally, because getting shaken about isn't something I like, it worked really, really well. And I think for other people, I wanted them to be able to see how easy it was for them to approach anybody to get it. So when you say that cost, is that cost going to be reflected through the manufacturer who's going to put it on for you?
That's the final price, including installation, VAT, delivery, everything is one price.
No, that's
and
really
that's
good.
all available to view on our website at vbssuspension.co.uk.
Can you say that one more time,
Yeah.
really slowly for the camera, because they might have missed that bit?
Sure, yeah. All of the information and pricing is available on our website, vbssuspension.co.uk.
So therefore, you can actually go to the site, look at the things you want to do,
That's right.
talk to an agent, I'm assuming,
That's
at the
right.
other end, and then they will say, okay, what have you got?
That's
Please,
right.
could you go to the dealer? Tell them what you want. We're already in touch with all the rest of it. Now, I know from our van, we had to make sure that we were up-plated to a certain thing because of the VBS suspension. Is that something you guys already tell the customer?
We do. So we can give you an indication based on the gross vehicle weight of the vehicle.
Yep.
And also looking at the individual axle weights.
Yeah.
So it's not really possible to give general advice
No.
without knowing
No.
the subjectives of the
No.
vehicle. But within reason, we can increase the gross vehicle weight using a VBS suspension system in combination with an operating agency.
Yeah.
Up to the maximum permissible axle weight. So it's quite a lot
Yeah,
in there.
because SV
but-
Tech was the people that we went to, obviously, to find out what we could go to. And then yourselves supplied it for Coach Built GB, and that's where we went for ours.
That's right. I mean, within the last 12 months, we started working with a partner company. It's affiliated with our manufacturer in the Netherlands called WDT Services.
Oh, okay.
So it is possible to have the suspension and the upgrade done on a single invoice, just on one sort of transaction.
Well, that makes it
to a
so
VB
much
dealer.
easier,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're going to 3 separate companies, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, although we didn't personally have anything to do with yourselves, because from SV Tech we then went to Coachbuilt, and Coachbuilt then contacted yourselves to get it. But I do like the idea of it being even niche, even closer with the partnership, so you don't have to go looking.
Well, as long as we have, and the dealer can take the pictures of all the VIN plates, we submit those to WDT Services, and they will come back with all the pack you need just to check that and send that off with your V5C to DVLA. So
is there any vehicles that you found that you haven't? People have approached you and said, "Oh, could you do it on this?" and you haven't been able to do it because you said the VW Caddy is possibly the smallest one that you do?
That's right, about that kind of size, but we also do systems for things like the Fiat, Citroen, Peugeot, Toyota K0 chassis, which is a smaller van there as well. We do a lot for Volkswagen Transporter and Ford Transit Custom. And we'll have a 4-corner system for the new Ford Transit Custom and Transporter this year.
I was going to say, because I've got a VW Nevada Shuttle. So it's quite big. It's built like well, not quite the Transporter, but it's similar size. So therefore, it would definitely benefit. But
they're great as a daily driver at that size as well. Super comfortable, yeah.
Because otherwise you get shaken to death. Now, I was going to say, with the benefits that you give to the customers, what else would you say it gives benefits for somebody who's got like a physical challenge?
Well, I think one of the main benefits outside of the accessibility and access to the vehicle is really the standard comfort and ride of the vehicle. So as standard, the automatic air suspension is maintaining a level ride, and it's removing all the steel suspension. You're reducing a lot of the high frequency vibration. So we talk about it in terms of noise, vibration and harshness.
Yeah.
And what we're doing there is dialing down some of those characteristics, so it's quieter, smoother, less vibration, and it's less fatiguing.
Our roads are awful in the UK, I have to be honest.
Yes.
And the potholes are just getting bigger and bigger. So therefore, anything that can actually soften that, give you that comfortable ride, has got to be a benefit.
It really makes a big difference, and you'd know straight away within the first sort of 100 yards of driving it where the comfort characteristics are.
With a car though, how much difference does it make for if you've got a ramp to go in? Is there a height restriction, i.e. are you going to lose when you're going over things like sleeping policemen? Are you going to lose the ability to go over those because with the VBS suspension on it, is it going to lower the floor?
No, so the standard ride height that we set it up to is optimised for upward suspension travel and downward damping, so it's in the perfect kind of mid-range of the suspension travel. So what that means in layman's terms is that it will look almost identical to when it comes out of the factory as standard.
So you won't even notice.
Original kind of ride height, give or take a few millimetres. So you wouldn't notice.
Oh, you're not going to notice a few millimetres.
No. And in certain circumstances, especially with our 4-corner systems, if you need to get a little bit more ground clearance, there are an option on the remote control to use off-road mode. It will lift the whole vehicle by about 30 millimetres and just give you that extra clearance for getting over.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of the barriers. When we go into car parks, now you've obviously got height barriers everywhere. Now you've got a large car with EBS suspension on it. It's good to know that it will just stay at normal height to get under a barrier.
Yeah,
or you can bring it down if you've already got it up high.
On a Volkswagen Transporter, it's perfect because we can usually lower it down and drop it into car park mode, where you have to manoeuvre more slowly. It's got a speed limit on it at that very low height of around 5 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
That will get you under barriers of sort of, for most vehicles, without a pop top of sort of 2 metres.
That's brilliant. Mike, thank you so much.
More than welcome. We're back in October again with our air suspension, our hydraulic levelling uprates. So,
and where can people find you? Can they visit you somewhere?
In the UK, we've just got offices in the distribution centre where we work from.
Yeah.
So all of our contact points are to our dealers. All of those are listed on our website, and all of which would be happy to have contact and answer any questions.
Thank you. Have you got the whole thing? Yeah?